So I want to make this very perfectly clear with God. All right? So God tells me and I tell you. All right? Just like I predicted the pandemic, Mr. Roman from the Bible, which is me, predicted the pandemic in 2016 when God told me, and it actually happened in 2020. It didn't matter what they called it. Sickness happens when people become careless. All right? And God also tells me that you could stop messing with people's heads. You're not going to let that happen. You're not going to let that mind control happen. God won't allow it. You're not going to be messing with our troops, our government agencies. You're not going to confuse our surroundings. I'm going to let everybody know, especially since I'm the reason with God that everybody's even seen today, or everybody in the world would have been dead. Our troops, government officials need to be focused on great relations, getting along with their best friends, building new, better relationships, becoming solid, building constantly, providing health, care for everything in front. It's short-lived entertaining anything. Any conflict is short-lived. History, God always tells us that. We walk with God. Make sure everything in front of us is taken care of. And we're very polite. You're not going to be confusing anybody. Give it to God. Make sure what's in front of you is taken care of, that they have their privacy. Keep it basic. Don't confuse yourself. Build them a big, nice, big home. Take care of our consumptions. Engineer automotives. Get them a nice vehicle to commute. It's important for everybody to remain used to each other. All right? That's good for healthcare. It suppresses diseases. That's why we have great relationships worldwide. And remaining constant in education. All of the things necessary to know of all the obstacles and hazardous warnings, hazards to look out for, so we don't take steps back. We keep evolving as one. Everybody is mandatory, needs to stay under healthy living standards. They need a nice, healthy, luxurious roof over their head. They need to be clothed. They need to be kept well hygiene, shampoos, soaps, clothes. It's not going to stop with the ones doing it right now. So we do it. There's work to be done. Everyone equally employed. Teaching detainees, leading a better way, providing job opportunities. God every turn. When you're talking to him, you're talking to God. When you're talking to her, you're talking to God. When you're talking to the animals, that's God. Keep everything healthy and their food's healthy. Marine life and the sea animals healthy. Surroundings, all that trash needs to be taken out constantly. New employees keep coming. They need to know the importance of what we really do. Helping hands and manpower, keeping everything healthy. Houses get old. They need to be made brand new. People need to eat. Foods need to be reharvested. The demand in human population is humongous. That's why we need to also care for our animals, or there's going to be a lot of hungry people, and you don't want them injecting our foods with steroids, because even if we don't take that, it still affects us and it's in our bodies. All right? So you need to really control disease control. Eliminate it all so you don't see any of it. What's in front of you's health reflects your health. Your health reflects my health. I know you have to be just as great and successful. When the people lack nothing in life, there's nothing to worry about being stolen, being taken. You don't need any of that in your mind. So you just literally set the people up for success. You leave it all on the foundation. Increase wages. Every business. Every employee, every staff member, $10, $20 for a guaranteed raise every 3 months. And that'll get you all that good stuff that you need. And then after that's done with, get with your local contractors. Find a piece of land, a survey, 1 acre, 0.75 as a default for every single family to make them a great mansion. Every old road made brand new. Construct new pathways. Build amusement parks in the local public park. All government officials running, biking, doing sports, public events with us. Everyone always staying used to each other. Everywhere around the world. Because new life keeps coming in very rapidly, and they need to know the same importance. Lead by example. Always educate. The definition of the good word and why it's displayed very boldly, because this is what people came across, our communities. And that's education on why you shouldn't do that, examples of what you should do for a better outlook. Everything legalized, so it's organized. Pharmaceutical industry, I don't care who's making it, no judgments. You're gonna pay them to bring all those drugs that they're making, so we don't have no fentanyl or any toxic, harmful medication or made up things, because they want a life to live, they want a house, they want to be fed, they want to have, all of this. They do this to be great. They want to have a great life. So they do these drugs and they want the easy way out, right? So now nobody's going to be making excuses anymore. Everything legalized. You pay anybody. They go to the pharmaceutical company. They don't get arrested. You pay them. And now you're the source that they go to. And it's tested. See what it is. Use those chemical properties on the specific medications. All our healing plants, teas, foods, vegetables, categorized in one with our brews, our good fruits, age restrictions if needed, and you remain constant in the good word. Whether it be in horror film, whether it be in drama, action, it's all education. And what do we benefit from great relations? Our privacy when we go back home doesn't become a health risk with toxic, fumes and people with their hidden motives. We benefit by being respected when everybody goes home safely at night Our loved ones are respected, our kids are respected, our foods are respected, our fruits. And you get right to the bottom of when, where, why. Because technology will eliminate all of your training that you have done. This is why we always remain in great standing around the world. And we always, love each other at the end of the day. And we care for one another always. And it's so worth it. So rich in life, and it's God every turn. What do you expect, like, if it's done to you, Everyone building. Everyone caring for our harvest. Constantly educating what to look out for. Better outlook. Even if everything's brand new, because it is going to be brand new. Those prisons are going to go empty. Everyone's going to be building. If they have prison time, then you can give them an ankle bracelet. But you're going to build them a house. They're going to live in a nice big mansion. They want to keep on living in that mansion, in that house. They're going to keep building with us. And we go on to the next country, building for them. And we go on to the next country, building for them. So everywhere around the world is brand new mansions. Everybody's under healthy living standards. Because if they're sick, illnesses become airborne. That's why we are based everywhere internationally. Because everybody has to know what to look out for. All of our healthcare guidelines. Or else we are all sick. And we're not going to be adapting to already known medications, and they just rebrand it. And then they make money, but then we still see no sharing. We still see no real change. That's the shit I'm talking about, dude. You're not gonna be, getting in the way of my vocal cords with that radioactivity and shit. People have different motives. That's why you have to remain constant in good standing. I'm not gonna let, our troops be taken advantage of and they don't even know what's happening. They're doing that to civilian life. Just stay with God, give it to God. We become allies, or else a lot of innocent people are gonna die for no reason. So we build, make sure everybody's good. They tried already confusing the situations. We don't know what they're trying to stimulate their minds on thinking, and then we're over here in great standing, getting along with one another, because that's how it is. We're on the ground, we're getting along perfectly, taking care of everybody greatly, But then somebody's over here popping our head, shocking our head. That's not going to take us to space. That's not going to, people don't want to, work anymore. It keeps people from working. It keeps people from, wanting to, even live. People are getting sick for no reason. Nutrients depleted. That's why it's important to remain constant in education, on the true foundation of how we even came out to be and how we have great relationships worldwide, internationally. Because we're there for each other. Make sure you're healthy so I can be healthy. Make sure you're great so I'm great. Make sure you don't lack nothing so I don't lack nothing. It's God's world. God is good all the time. So what are you freaking out about? The first time God says, hey, okay, great, you're going through it, and then God says, trust me. Or you're going to be all like, you're going to act on impulse or what? Because you think you're tough. All loud. It ain't going to work. Someone's looking at all of that. There's always someone way more smarter than you, way more lethal than you. Those weapons, short-lived. You ain't gonna win nothing. Not like that. Short-lived for both parties. Nobody ever wins. Give it to God. I don't care if you see shitty things in front of you. You make sure you're there for what's in front of you and you take care of what's in front of you. And your surroundings will take care of you. If you hear anything about conflict, use it to your best advantage. Spread the good word. Billboards of kind gestures, community gatherings, getting along, good foods, TV. Everyone needs to be connected. Satellite, internet for everyone around the world. It's very important, like God said, for everybody to stay used to each other. All right? TV. Dish them out a horror movie. You want to entertain that? Well, somebody entertained that once, and look at what happened. It gets really fucked up. Short-lived. Nobody ever wins like that. Or you can also give, a comedy movie a better outlook on why everybody is getting along greatly and endless possibilities. Way more fun. Theme parks at your public area. Brand new roads. Brand new vehicles. Now we go to space, very healthy. Mansions underwater. Mansions underground. All of your surroundings brand new. Food way more healthier. And if you want a partner, girl, guy, just know, because we all bear the same fruits. No one's going to be beating around the bush, all right? I'll tell you exactly how it is, set you up for success the right way, so you won't lack nothing. You see, when I was trying to explain myself, and I totally blanked out. And why does that happen? When it doesn't necessarily happen to me. I'm not known for that. It's that radioactivity shit. It's like a phone, dude. Like the constant algorithms that kind of freeze your brain and thinking patterns. They try to do noises or whatever to try to derail your focus. That's what they do. They adapt to shit. It's not even the half of it, man. Just build. Be there for one another. Implement the firmness through media, motion picture, billboards. There's tons of things to worry about, like real things to worry about. Like gas leaks. Caring for the foods the right way. If you don't, it can be deadly for everybody around the world. You see, now it's making sense, right? That we keep great relationships internationally. There's items, materials on checklist on every business factory that needs to take care of that business and to sustain our consumptions, whatever it may be, whether it be the environment temperature to regulate a certain strain of produce in a healthy way so it won't get toxified and rotten. And if somebody doesn't know the checklist and they're just thinking about profit, not necessarily knowing what our farmers and harvesters do on the day-to-day, these obstacles that we've learned through experience, new life keeps coming in. If they don't know, they become a health risk to everyone. Not only that facility, but everyone in the world, because illnesses become airborne. That's making sense, right? Great. And then, of course, if you want, like I said, now I'm, getting back to what I meant to say. You all bear the same fruits. You're going to want, a partner. Well, everything you want is going to attract to you, but you got to be there for one another, man. Your wife, your husband is not going to want to be in places where they have to look over their back, or conflict abrupting, people thinking they're better than the next, and then you go show up and you're excited to be there and to get along and mingle and stuff, and then you're over here getting treated like shit for no reason. Dude, you're gonna be alone if you're gonna be like that. You want a happy life? Good people have happy lives. Good people are always happy. Start making some good money. Start being polite to everything. Big businesses. What do you see when you start making real big bucks? Everyone nice. Everyone respectful. Mutual understanding. Why? They have the same life. They go through the same obstacles. So they encounter these obstacles that they know are short-lived, and obstacles that they know are for the best interest of all, not just a select handful. What's the whole point of a team or a country thinking they're better when they're going to suffer the repercussions because everybody else is not equally educated and informed? So we go back to square one. And then frustration happens. And that's how conflict happens. That's why we have great relationships internationally. So we're all on the same page. And either way, we're always excited to do great business. It's not even about business now. Because anybody can make like a top dollar in the easiest way too. We need labor workers. They were being unmotivated. We saw a lack in that really immediately. They wanted to make commission. They wanted to make desk money. Little to no brain cells, half the effort of labor. Let's go make $1 million, billion, trillion bucks. Just being third party, good connections, make it all make sense, right? They pay good money to say what I'm saying here. Innovation, better look, better outlook for the business, right? But since I'm Mr. Roman from the Bible, we have great relations worldwide with everybody's family. No, we're not going to tell you who it is of your family, but it's been way before anybody was born. We've been established. God every turn. And why do we remain solid after all these generations and years? Because of a job well done. Because they know they're not going to be bothered with. They know when shit happens, it's not going to be because of us. It's not going to be. Because we don't play with life. We don't play with God. We give, build, give. And you already know it's zero risk. You're seeing real life 100% results. We ensure no risk to any business. We ensure zero risk to nobody's health. Give it to God. Because what's the point of thinking you're this and that? And then the other people start becoming dependent on you or your country or your team. That's when you start losing all the value that you saw in front of you. Because instead of them thinking for themselves now, they think they have to be dependent on you or a team or a country. No. Because you're going to set yourself up for failure as well too. We're all equal everywhere in the world. And we leave it in the rules. Because we give God to the next generation after us. And the next one and the next one. Healthcare, mandatory healthcare guidelines we build. We're seeing warnings of freezing temperatures in the nearby communities. It's a good thing to see everyone remain constant in educating on, being there for one another, because we don't want to risk anybody's health, despite the fact that we're building for all of the community constantly. But if there's literally like one person that doesn't have that shelter, we still provide warming buildings so you can have a place to stay. But make sure you take that initiative in leadership, right? You give them that job opportunity as a law officer, government official, to build side by side with you and lead together side by side, teaching one another with the rest of the detainees, correcting yourselves, them, together. And nobody ever looks back. These are real life, real time results. And then, following all that game plan that God says, we have all of the surroundings just brand new. The quality of life and air, very great. Clouds not looking so gloomy and toxic. They'll be way more cleaner. Weather storms won't be as severe. They'll be very pure. Well, actually, they'll still be severe. See how I also have to process as well too? Because I'm only human like you. We need each other everywhere in the world. Nobody can do them by itself. And you get such great personalities and great individuals because they have their privacy. And you provide opportunity for them. And you know you wouldn't be successful without them. So stop playing yourself. God every turn. And then the next planet can be totally different And then after that, we can go on to the next planet. Please stop falling short on conflict or people that have secretly like envious towards you, or they have the wrong motives towards you. That will never prosper. I don't want you to be getting out confused out there in the field. You give it to God. Whatever noise popped in my head, very severe shock to my head, you know what I do? I ignore it. I give it to God because I know God will handle it. And I'm there for my surroundings. And they take care of me too. And you'll be great like that. Increase your wages, like I said, like God said. Very healthy. Teamwork. Great relationships and bonds. Public funding. Leave it in the foundation. Great relationships build. Build, keep building. Brand new homes. When it becomes a health risk, tear it all down and you make it brand new. Every old car, tell them to bring it into the dealership. They melt that metal so they can mold brand new models. You can recycle metal, dude. So it's never a risk. My resume is proof that we're paying you way more than the initial price, right? We don't only pay for the vehicles in the dealership, but we give you more than the initial purchase, right? I don't want you to be grasping off speculations of what you hear when it's part of the good word, and to apply firmness so people won't get out of line in real life. Because I'm getting along with all these government agencies, law, military, border, and we're best friends with our community and everyone around the world. And we build, give job opportunity, we feed them, clothe them, shower them, right? But something's got to be firm so they know where they don't want to be. Something has to be firm. We are very, very nice to everyone, but something has to be firm, like God is firm. So they know, hey, look, man, life is beautiful. Keep building with us. We're going to make sure you're documented, get the health care you need. Because we hear stories when we're literally on the ground, people murdering their families because they listen to a movie, they think they're all mafiosos, and there's no such thing. Everybody's just caring for our consumption, building together in great relationships. They never prosper. And then they try to think they're better than each other, and then like this person, good working man and women, then they get chased and followed. This is why we're firm. So nothing can happen to nobody. When we hear something on our neighbor countries, what do? We're right there, making sure everybody's cared for. And they're healthy, because that's what God does. Building banana trees, harvesting, some nice healing plants, making sure everything, we don't fall short on judgment. We make sure all of our consumption's cared for. And we keep our great relationships internationally. That's how we get right to the problem. We have great relationships. They do not hesitate to tell us what happened, when, where, and why. We don't want nobody to lose sight of that. because new life keeps coming in. We're just helping hands and manpower. Just make sure we build for you. Dude, it's therapeutic. It's badass. I got, piece of ass now. It wasn't male dominant now. You have some women side by side. Make sure you take care of each other and your surroundings. Build homes, paint, become architects, engineers desperately needed. And now you have to also remain constant in education. The ones already experts on it, you have to teach the new life so people don't forget. Because then, just so they won't forget. And dude, your life's gonna be way more better. It'll be worth living. Things to really be excited about. The right way. There shouldn't be no projects anymore. There's work to be done. Nobody should be homeless. It's a health risk to anybody in the world. Right? Yeah, it's good, providing food because we're not making excuses, because it's definitely a health risk. Just make sure that it's by law, you need to increase wages. Every employee needs a mandatory wage increase every 3 months. Make them sign a waiver. All staff members, owner, manager, every pay period, $10, $20. Nobody minds that. We have more than enough trips to our fast food restaurants after we buy groceries. In excess too, right? You want to guarantee and secure your future? Yeah, I don't want you to be belittled. I don't want you to be botting out. I don't want you to be used over somebody that has top dollar, that claims that they have direction. No. All right? Nobody's going to be taken advantage of anymore. Over time, we've visually seen what we're working with. All right? So now it's time to eliminate all that shit. Build for each other. And you increase wages. Every staff member, $10, $20, or whatever is ideal for them. Can be every $30, every pay period, $30. $10, $20 makes sense, all right? And it's still gonna give you a great life, all right? And then you'll see, when you have everything, and you have nothing else to want in the world, you're gonna understand that your great relationships matter a ton, and constant education matter a ton. All these great events being hosted, hike runs, it's great unity and equity there. The proper direction, you have great partnerships. There's great value in getting along with one another. Always a great time. Just get used to that feeling of new life. I think that's where some people freak out. Because when you come across life that's why it's important that we're saying everybody must remain used to each other. We're barely in the year 2000s, man. All right? You don't have to let that be a fact, because it's not. It's a great world, a great life. And we're all best friends everywhere in the world. Then we go healthy to space. I mean, there's sharks to look out for. There's scarier things than just freaking out about your own paranoia. And anyways, as I was saying, you know, you need to understand what you feel when you come across life. That's what gives them life and privacy. That's what gives you your life and privacy. That's all it is. I don't expect anybody to be smiling or always happy, because you see it yourself too. We are no different than one another. We all bear the same fruits to a certain extent. Just feel it. It'll pass. And you'll end up being bestest of friends anywhere in the world. And keep being so bold. You know? If somebody's being unfair with you in secret, you let it be known. So we can educate. That's what you need to have your main focus on every time. Alright? Because we all are all equally skilled on training for the worst case scenarios. Everybody in the world is trained equally at the same time. Alright? Don't mold your head and mindset to shit. Right? Muscle memory will take care of that. The only main focus, give your own understandings to God. Make sure we build, construct, take care of our harvest, make it clean. We're not going to be putting toxic vitamins or anything on the food. It's going to be straight food, straight stock, straight healthy animals. Alright? You just have to care for them, care for the food, replant it, reharvest. Make sure all of the surroundings, grass cut, see. We have, you know, the fishing pole line. You have to take all of that gunk out. All the trash away from the sea. That's what a marine stands for, you know? Taking care of our marine life. Making sure all of our surroundings are healthy, including our animals. Underwater welding. Underwater homes. Everyone building. Everyone constantly caring for our harvest, making sure it's not tampered with. Because your health reflects my health. Their health reflects your health. Don't play with yourself, alright? Always becomes self-inflicting. That's all you need to be. That's all. Helping hands in manpower. And you're never going to forget. And now, all there's left to do is just get along with your surroundings, make your friends, get a partner. And now you know you're good because you keep caring for the animals, you keep caring for their plants and their foods. Now you know your wages are increased. Now you can afford that house. Now you can afford that brand new car, that brand new house. Start with the wage increase, mandatory by law, healthcare guidelines that everybody agreed to before presenting themselves to the world. Alright? Start with the wage increase. They have their own setup perfectly. Every staff member, $10, $20. every pay period, for a guaranteed wage increase every 3 months. To always stay under healthy, comfortable living and sustained no matter how the economy fluctuates, alright? Because life moves very, very fast. Which is why we remain constant. Even if we've said it 1,000 times, new life keeps coming in. New animals keep on breeding. You need to make sure they're not being tampered with either. Go into it as a regular employee. Nobody should ever be denied employment. When you present yourself to the world, you're just going to be accepting them. And now you take the initiative as the owner, manager, to lead them the right way, to follow the rules. You establish the rules and guidelines. And let God lead the way. You'll never fail. They want to be great. That's why they present themselves in front of you. You need people. Because then it just stops, dude. I don't care if you have $1 trillion, if your family of an arm's reach is good for a lifetime, that stops when you stop having great relationships. Because nobody wants to do business when you're going to be a health risk. Because they have to be great. You want to keep being successful and your privacy respected and everything, your health respected. And you have to be nice to your friends, and they have to be great too. We have tons of partners all over the world, which is literally everything in the world, dude. Because your partners have family, and their family have friends, and their friends have family, and they have loved ones and friends too. And they also have to be healthy too. Because then something happens, someone gets sick and they become a health risk, and then you're wondering why. And it wasn't even their fault. They're just going on to day, crossing paths with their loved ones, having great relationships. Oh, but it was the friend of the friend of the friend's loved one of the husband's friend? Oh my goodness. Which is why, either that was the reason why we became very known to the world and very successful. Maybe that's why it took it, Or it could have been that's why your colleague got sick or yourself got sick, right? God bless. And enjoy your life the most healthiest way, all right? And this is by God. He doesn't play with life. When I'm talking to you, I'm talking to God. When I'm talking to her, I'm talking to God. When I'm talking to him, I'm talking to God. When I'm with the animals, that's God. God every turn. You're going to be great. Don't be freaking out when God says the first time, hey, trust me. I don't care what they threaten me with. I'm going to make sure I'm there for you, God. God every turn. You're going to be great, and you're going to see God is very real. And God doesn't play. God very directly here. God every turn. I can't explain what happened back then. Just call it education of how short-lived things get. But we're already past all of that. There's not going to be no war, conflict ever. You remain constant in the good word, constant. Every single day. Leading, building, harvest. Be a helping hand. Make sure everybody's under living under healthy living standards. Alright? I don't know if it's an open mic on people, and then they try to confuse it, or light radiation, like ultrasound, they just need a constant current, and then that's how they could force images or dreams. like the phone. I'm just letting you know, dude. I don't know about that shit. We're focused on living. I just don't want anybody else to be all blindsided and then out of nowhere people are like, dying for no reason and they think this and that's happening when it's just all sound, dude. Sound of gunshots, sound of like vibration sounds. Like, it's stupid, dude. It's childish, it's kid shit. God already told me that somebody knows what's going on. Just give them God still, man. Either you let them turn themselves in, prison time. But then, like, usually we've seen if you threaten them, the guilty, they get embarrassed, they start blaming innocent people. Just everybody building together, right? Become allies, educated. Education eliminates all conflict. I don't want to put anybody's life at risk ever. And the Romans, been through all of this confusion. So there was a lot of forgiving. And, that's why our kids and loved ones, they cherish each other so much. So I always give God and I always forgive. And so we just all build, implement constant on the good word, educate, and then when we're all doing the same thing, if it's a noticeable problem, then it'll be dealt with. It has to be very, very noticeable, so we all have the same tasks, right? I don't want nobody out here just like getting confused over some person that hasn't even touched ground, is just on a computer with a microphone or something, because every time they like feel shocked in the head or popped on my head, they're just saying I'm doing that on purpose or something. So they're on some bullshit. Anyways, you know how great it is on the ground, man. It's a blessing to have great relationships all over the place. We'll never see any conflict ever again. Just give it to God. They will not prosper. Anyways, yeah, everybody's gonna be super great, right? And then now yeah, dude, look forward to going to space. Very, very healthy too. And yes, this conversation was very needed. Why? Because people lose sight. There's a lot of things to drown in, dude. You'd rather make top dollar, life moves too fast, they keep on forgetting how they're even living in the first place. All those healthcare videos that I posted on YouTube will gain you that overall view of importance and gain grasp of that understanding. And of course you'll see me like express my frustrations, because anybody would be pissed if this unnecessary shit was happening to them too. When we're keeping everybody involved, right? We're always involved with the people. We are all working together. Okay, know that is very, very important. That's how we get right down to the bottom of it. Because now people know where you're going to be as a law official, so they try to judge you in every single way. And we're not going to let that become a health risk. We take people's health very, very serious. So if they try to hide from you, we make sure all the rules and the foundations, and they're all going to get caught all the time. So we make sure they're documented, because they're over here believing the good word in many forms when it comes to the firmness and what they hear, and that's controversial. But when you really know the truth, you have to be documented so you can be healthy, cared for, provide job opportunities, a better way out, you know? We're in great relationships everywhere in the world. That is all it is. Something has to be firm so they know where they don't want to be, you know? What's the whole point of having a luxurious bed in a cell, all comfy and shit? Then they're gonna be like, oh, I don't care about doing crime or doing this and that. I'll just be all cozy and toasty in my cell. No. Something has to be firm so they know the difference of their blessings. Alright? We're not wasting nobody's time, especially not ours. Healthcare. So now you know. There's a lot of people caring for our consumption and making sure they ensure great results and zero risk to anybody's health. They're in prison for no reason. Right? So how do we fix that problem and never see any conflict? We provide that job opportunity because you know we desperately need it. And you do too. Build with them. Build a home for them first. You want to keep living in that home. If they're on some time, ankle bracelet, and they're monitored until the duration of time. And we prepare them as they serve their time in the public, working side by side with us. They keep building with all the firmness, rules, right, and hazards to watch out by. Because if you're a problem, you're going to be dealt with. If you're the obvious fucking problem, and it's always obvious because God doesn't play with us. Because when you care for somebody, you're that firm. So they can be better off. It's a humongous world, dude. Some people don't care when they're fucked with, they will get back at you, dude. They'll do anything and everything to know exactly where you're at. Alright? There's harmful toxic gases, poisons, odorless. Dude, they will get back at you. So when you care about somebody, you're that firm. Can we all agree that we're nice sometimes when we're being firm because we're walking with God every turn? They just lack the understanding. And it's never a handful, man. And then we get judged by people that also mean well just like we do. But we're hearing it because we're on the ground. That's why you don't have to go through it. But they're being chased and gunned down and killed for no reason. Off a fucking movie when they didn't even know the meaning behind the good word. It's educational, man. What do you see in that movie that motivated you to be this person that thinks you're this and that, right? They died in that movie, just like you did in real life, right? I don't care what you call yourself, everywhere in the world, we're great friends with each other, we care for our consumption. Because somebody with great relationships, no matter what they feel they lose or whatever, they know never to worry because they have those great relationships, right? Anyways, there's nothing to worry about that. Anybody flipping burgers is going to be just as well off as a physician, as anybody successful. That's how you're going to eliminate all crime. Because what do they do this stupid shit for? To be great, man. Let's not play around the bush anymore, man. Let's be very, very real. And God's saying it. Now there's not going to be no excuse for no crime. They won't even think of it. Now all you got to do for the years to come is is invest in your knowledge, education, always constantly cleaning your surroundings. Once it becomes a health risk, tear it down and make it brand new. Every several years, God's going to tell you. Foods always has to be replenished. Everybody's always going to get hungry. Now you're prepared for success. No matter what you face in life, it won't faze you. You'll be great. You need to have clean water. And when you're working side by side with the detainees before they get fucking sweet, if anything, because I know it's not in them either. Make sure whatever you do to them happens to you. It's always self-inflicting. Or just slit your throat right then and there. Anyways. God bless.